Price drops first. Then it stops falling. The move begins before the breakout. Most traders wait here. They wait for confirmation. But the move starts earlier. Look at April 12th Asia session. Price gaps down. It returns into April 9th US session box. Now it sits inside. Price moves lower. It reaches the lower boundary. It cannot break below. It tries again. Same level. Same failure. The drop stalls. The reaction comes faster. Price returns again. Now it moves up slightly. Then it drops again. But it does not go lower. This is the first shift. The second drop is weaker. The reaction is faster. Distance becomes smaller. Price pushes up. It reaches the midline. It reacts slightly. Then it pulls back. But it holds higher than before. It does not return to the low. Now pressure builds. Price moves up again. It reaches the same level. It stalls again. Then it drops quickly. This is the shakeout. This is where most exit. But watch carefully. The drop does not continue. It slows immediately. It holds above the zone. Now it pushes again. Same level. Same test. Different result. This time it holds above. Now distance changes. Price moves higher. It does not return fully. It stays above the level. Pullbacks become smaller. Reactions become shorter. Continuation becomes stronger. Price moves again. It reaches higher. It holds again. Now the structure is clear. Below, price could not break. Above, price now holds. The move is shifting. Price pulls back again. But it stops early. It does not drop far. Then it moves again. Same behavior. Short pullback. Stronger push. This is no longer balance. This is pressure building. Price moves higher. It does not stall long. It continues upward. Now the breakout happens. But the move started earlier. Inside the session. Inside the box. Before confirmation. Now momentum appears. But it was already building. Price continues upward. It does not return. Distance expands faster. The move is active. The structure has shifted. Everything started below. Price continues higher. But now the behavior changes. The move starts to slow. Look at April 13th US session. It forms at the overlap. April 9th US and April 12th Asia align here. This is a heavy zone. Price pushes up from here. It reaches April 10th US boundary. It breaks through. It looks strong. But it stalls quickly. Reaction appears faster. Price pulls back. It does not drop far. It holds above the breakout. Then it pushes again. Same level. Same test. Same reaction. But now something changes. The push becomes shorter. The stall comes sooner. The reaction becomes sharper. Price reaches again. It cannot extend far. It drops faster. Now pressure builds. Price pushes again. It reaches slightly higher, but it fails again. Each move goes up, but less distance, less extension. Each reaction comes faster. Each pullback gets deeper. Each continuation ends sooner. Now it reaches March 17th boundary. This is a higher level. Price touches it. It reacts immediately. It cannot move freely. Now watch closely. Price pushes up. It stalls almost instantly. It drops again. Then it pushes again. It barely moves higher. It fails again. Now repetition accelerates. Push. Fail. Drop. Push again. Fail again. Drop again. Now distance collapses. The move is still upward, but it is weaker, more reactive. This is where most get trapped. They see higher highs. They expect continuation. But reaction is faster. Now the move tightens. Price pushes up. It stalls immediately. It drops faster. Then it tries again. It reaches less distance. It fails earlier. Now the structure is clear. Above, price cannot hold. Below, it still finds support. The range tightens. Now pressure builds. If it holds above March 17th, it continues higher. If it fails here, it drops fast. Now every move matters. Each push weaker. Each reaction stronger. Each move shorter. The move is no longer expanding. It is compressing. At the top. Now look at April 13th Asia session. Price is no longer trending. It is rotating. It forms between March 17th lower boundary and February 4th mid-boundary. This is a new range. Price moves up. It reaches the upper edge. It reacts again. Then it drops. It reaches mid-zone. It holds there. Now rotation begins. Up, fail, drop, down, hold, return, up again, fail again, drop again. Both sides fail. Price moves higher. It cannot extend. It returns quickly. Price moves lower. It cannot break. It returns again. Now distance shrinks. Each move is shorter. Each reaction is faster. Each attempt fails earlier. Now compression builds. Price pushes up. It stalls immediately. It drops again. Then it pushes again. It reaches less distance. It fails sooner. Then it drops. It does not break. It holds again. Now everything tightens. The move started below. It expanded upward. Now it compresses at the top. This is where most lose control. They chase here. They get trapped. They exit late. But structure is clear. Entry was below. Inside April 12th Asia. Targets were above. April 10th. March 17th. February 4th. Now price is here. At the top. Inside compression. Under pressure. Now the decision comes. If price holds here, it expands again. If it fails here, it drops fast. Same move. Same structure. Same trap.